What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scare Soldier back with another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we have the long-awaited Moze setup for you guys. Now this build is all about Moze, not Iron Bear. We will be doing another build that's all about Iron Bear and other things like that. Don't worry, this is one of many Moze builds to come in the next recent videos. So before we get started, make sure you slap that like button for your boy. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to blow this channel up, guys. Let's go. Road to 3K subs. Come on, support your dude. Now, moving on. So like I said, this build is all about Moze. So briefly, we're going to go over the gear as usual. A couple of weapon suggestions, but you are not limited to, is going to be the plasma coil. Make sure you have the URAD anointment. So if you don't know what URAD is because you're not cool, because you don't know the slang, well, I'm up to you guys on that. So you got, while under 50% health, deal 150% bonus radiation damage. That is basically the URAD anointment. That's what you want on all your weapons for the most part. Now, you want the plasma coil, one of the best SMGs in the game, literally insane. The Sandhawk is crazy. The Scoville is awesome, by the way. And also the Shredderfire is insane with this build as well. So do not sleep on the Shredderfire. You can also use things like the Chaos in, the Flipper, the Gargoyle, and all these other types of good weapons on Moze. Moving on for the shield, we actually have a couple of suggestions. So in case you don't have one of the shields that I'm announcing, you can go ahead and check if you do. So for the most part, the Old God is great because it's giving you bonus elemental damage, which is amazing, first of all. And one of the main anointments you also want is going to be after exiting Iron Bear, gain 75% increased shields and health for 25 seconds. Now this anointment is going to be perfect for mobbing, but you can also carry one with action skill end if you want to do extra damage versus bosses like a Grave Ward or any type of boss in the game. Then switch over to the action skill end real quick so you can dominate bosses even faster. My actual favorite shield right now is actually this one right here. I'm not even going to pronounce the name because I'm definitely going to mess it up, but it's actually because you get health regeneration when you're taking damage. Well, pretty much, you're not like Zane with a barrier around you, so you're going to be constantly taking damage. That means you have constant health regeneration, and FYI, this is a deathless build, so any kind of health regeneration we are going to be getting is going to be transferred to shields. So that's our first part of our shield becoming very, very godly and sustaining itself without necessarily a ton of health steal. So that's one part of it. The other shield, by the way, you can use is the Plus Ultra, of course, a very, very awesome choice. And also the Front Loader is another great suggestion. And then lastly, the Transformer. These are all great shields, okay, guys? But make sure you just have the anointment, as I mentioned before, after exiting Iron Bear, again, 75%, okay? Moving on, grenade pretty quickly. Cloning Manning Tracker, you guys seen this a million times. The best grenade still to this day for Moze. That's all you really need. Moving on for the class mod, all you need is a Bloodletter, and I do suggest, actually I'm going to talk about this in a second, so we'll get there, but make sure you have a Bloodletter. This is going to be very, very crucial for you guys to convert all that health regen into shields. Lastly, you want a Deathless, whether it be any kind of Deathless in the game. I like the Snowdrift because Moze is typically slow, so she can slide around real fast, and this is actually really cool. Also, you want things like Area of Effect, radiation damage, since you're always doing radiation damage with this with the URAD anointment active, so you're just going to increase that, and any other type of damage is going to be great. So that's that. Now moving on, the most important thing is actually the skill tree right here, and the Bear Mother tree is where we're going to get started in. So the Bear Mother tree, the way it works is we have 3 points in a big surplus. Now if you guys do not know, the big surplus actually gives you more than what it advertises. So it says bonus 15% gun damage pretty much on action skill cooldown. So this is basically all about keeping Iron Bear on cooldown, this build. So essentially, this actually scales to Mayhem level 10, which means that you're not getting 15% bonus damage, you're actually getting times 31 of that value. So that's pretty much over 400%. I'll do the actual calculation for you guys right now. So that's 465 bonus gun damage while Iron Bear is on cooldown. Yeah, let that sink in, guys. That's actually pretty godly. So you're getting, from this perk alone, 465% gun damage, which is nuts. So that is where we're going to get started with this build. So because this is all about Moze, we don't need any of this other stuff really, but we do want things like biofuel, because we're going to be getting health regeneration if we ignite an enemy, which we should be, because we're getting extra status effect chance with the explosive fury. And then of course we're getting also some more damage per second with extra fire rate that stacks with fired up, so we're getting up to 25% fire rate bonus, which is really, really good. And also we're getting health regeneration, which is going to help maintain our shields, as well as this shield right over here, as I said. So we're getting 3% max health per second with this. Plus, we're getting more health regeneration with this. So already we are at like maybe almost 7% health regen a second, which is actually really good. Then we're moving on to the blue tree. This is pretty simple. So we have Fire in the Skagden, and again, very similarly to Big Surplus, it also gives you a lot more than advertised. I think it also scales to Mayhem level 10 if that's how the formula is calculated, but it gives you a ton more than 15% bonus incinerate damage as well, and that is why we have Fire in the Skagden. This also is helped with Stainless Steel Bear. It makes Fire in the Skagden good to my knowledge. Then you have Torque Cross Promotion giving you splash damage and more radius, which is very, very good. You have Means of Destruction giving you a chance to regen those grenades. And also with Pull the Holy Pin, you're going to be able to get crits with your grenades, which is good in many ways. And also with Vampire helping you by just throwing those cloning mining trackers to regen your shields very, very easily by just throwing grenades at the same time. So you have many means of keeping your shield up and full by throwing grenades, with the health regeneration being converted to shields. You have a ton of ways. Then we have Auto Bear. This is just a good way to take off aggro from Moze, and also Auto Bear is very, very good anyways because Iron Bear is very strong, so why not have him blowing up people with nukes? Lastly, we have Short Fuse. This is just a beastly perk. Make sure you have Short Fuse. Enough said, it's going to give you a ton of extra damage, okay? Now, moving on to the last tree here, we have Shield of Retribution tree, and pretty much since this is a deathless build, we picked up some of the mandatory perks, such as Armored Infantry, giving us some more gun damage. We have Vladoff Ingenuity, giving us more shield recharge rate, more max shields. We also have Thin Red Line, which is actually going to take away our health, but convert it to more shields, so you guys see how big our shield will get. We have Drowning in the Brass, which pretty much stacks 3 times and gets up to 60% gun damage, which is pretty godly. Then we have Experimental Munitions, giving us 15% bonus incinerate damage, even more so than we already have. Like, come on, man, this is just insane. We have 3 points in Desperate Measures, which is constantly active, so we pretty much already have 50% gun damage constantly active since we're at 1 health all the time. And then lastly, we have the Phalanx Doctrine, which is infinite stacks, and yeah, we're getting 20 gun damage per stack with 10 out of 5 into this with our class mod. So you guys can do the math. We're pretty insane on gun damage with Moze, plus she has a ton of splash damage. So we didn't get anything to the green tree, just for your FYI, which is not a big deal because the damage we're getting from this build is nuts. Now, the most important thing, make sure you guys listen up, is that you disable this perk right here, topped off. Make sure this is disabled. If it's not disabled, your Iron Bear is going to be quickly regened, and you're not going to be getting your full 465% bonus from Big Surplus. So make sure that topped off is disabled. That way, Iron Bear's cooldown is absolutely bad as hell, and that's exactly what you want because you want to maintain that constant gun damage from Big Surplus. So all you got to do is jump into Iron Bear when you get into a match, absolutely destroy his fuel, kill enemies, of course, because Iron Bear is still very good, and just do your thing. And once the fuel is completely gone, get out of him, and then you guys are good to go for like a solid 2-3 minutes of pure insanity. Now, one last trick real quick before we get into the gameplay, guys, is if you do want to comm swap, you can. So all you got to do, and what that is simple. So essentially, before you actually hop into Iron Bear, right over here, what you're going to do is you're going to be switching to a Rocketeer class mod. So you're going to switch over to a Rocketeer, for example, switch over to that. Then you're going to hop into Iron Bear. Once you hop out of Iron Bear, you're going to quickly switch over your class mod back to your Bloodletter. Once you do that, that's going to give you literally 2 minutes of uptime of Auto Bear. So you're going to have constant support of your Auto Bear dropping nukes on enemies. Plus the cooldown is going to be even longer. So you're literally going to be having maybe 4 minutes of 465% extra Big Surplus damage. So yeah, that's how it all set up, guys. Now we're going to get into some gameplay real quick and show you how beastly this build is. Alright guys, we're over on Athenas. Now we dropped off here because we have some enemies to kill with this build. Right over here we have the Shreddifier in our hands, a really good Vladoff assault rifle, and we're taking over these enemies. Now you guys are going to first notice that my Iron Bear is on cooldown, which is the whole concept of this build. And speaking of the concept of this build, we're just all about Moze right here. We just wanted to showcase how insane Moze can really be without being dependent on Iron Bear. Although Iron Bear is amazing, we do not need him right now because we're telling Iron Bear to get out of our way, stay behind, because we do not need backup. We are the backup, you know what I'm saying? So Moze is insane. We're going to be breaking down a little bit of the skill tree and why I set it up this way as well. But pretty much you guys see everything in effect. You see that we have a ton of damage going on, a lot of elements as well that are adding to our effectiveness against any type of enemy in the game. And also with the help of the shield that I talked about a little earlier, I'm not even going to bother pronouncing the name, and you know which one I'm talking about. It comes from this takedown right over here. But the shield that you get from the mid boss is actually really good, because with the bloodletter you're getting that 3% health per second when you're getting damage. And as you guys, if you guys can tell already, we're getting damage all the time. We got nothing protecting us, we got nothing to save us except ourselves. So pretty much we're always having that health regen active, and also just by having all those elements, we always have a good chance of applying it to an enemy, which again gives us more health regen, which all gets converted to shields. So that's why I chose the bloodletter setup for this. And again, the survivability is A1. You guys will pretty much never die unless you kill yourselves with splash damage, which I guess we can all say is quite normal with a Moze setup. So breaking down the build real quick, so everything you guys need to know, all the important stuff. So let's get started. So breaking it down first, starting in the actual guardian rank. So for topped off, if you guys do not know how it works and why we actually disabled it, for the most part we disabled it because it actually gives you about 200% bonus action skill cooldown rate when your shields are full. Now with this build, it's very easy to get your shields full with the help of Vampire, with the help of the health regeneration through certain perks, and all of that stuff is very easy to keep getting your shields full. The problem with that is that it allows Iron Bear to come back too quick, and that screws up the 465% bonus gun damage that we are getting, which is actually the whole point of this build, is to upkeep that tier 1 perk in the Mother Bear tree. Now moving on, you want to be in Mayhem level 10 because actually some of the modifiers help Moze a lot. So one of the modifiers that really helps a lot is Speed Demon. Now Speed Demon allows you to run at 150% speed faster when it's all said and done at 3 stacks, and this just allows getting around the map a lot quicker. Now you guys thought the little 12% movement speed in Moze's purple tree was a lot. 12% doesn't feel like anything, especially if you're a guy who comes off of a Zane character. 12% is really not a huge difference. So just maintain Speed Demon and you guys will have all the speed you need, which is why I like Speed Demon. Buddy system is very easy to deal with, and also Healy Avenger is also really good because you can actually just destroy enemies really easily, no problem with that. And that's pretty much that. Now with the skill tree as well, we pretty much stuck to the basics. I find that the blue tree is Moze's most rewarding skill tree in terms of damage. Splash damage is just so powerful in this game that the blue tree is just essential for any Moze build to have, especially having things like short fuse, and also the ways the Skag Den is set up. It's extremely powerful. You have the Skag Den, you have all that gun damage from all of our other perks, you have the U-Rat Anointment active giving you 150% bonus elemental damage, you have a ton of incendiary bonus passives in Moze's skill tree, and overall this is the end result where you guys get an insane build, something that's extremely powerful, a ton of survivability, a ton of damage, and also that movement speed because you have the modifier Speed Demon. So all that to say, guys, that's the end of the video. Give this build a try, smash that like button for your boy. I'll catch you in the next one because we have another Moze build coming out very soon, so stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. I'll catch you in the next one. It's your boy Scared Soldier signing out. Peace.